I didn't even see him this
I
morning.
was like, what is this dude doing? But he's writing like a whole script with Courtney for her
Yeah,
line.
no, Calvin's not someone to skip out on work.
Yes, he is.
I don't think he is.
What a bitch.
He's a very dedicated, hardworking.
He's
What's his ethnicity?
Asian.
Tokian.
I think he's
Laos.
Laos. From Laos.
Mm-hmm.
Very hardworking Laos man.
Yeah, sure. That's what it is.
Vaughn is a nice, hardworking white man.
Should, Jesus.
All right, this is also
Should we have-
very.
From New Jersey.
Should we
You
have
said you
fitness
just
and
wanted to
food?
talk.
I'm from the trenches.
Should we have? Okay, so our active
I've been
categories.
so
Recording
many
right now?
times.
Yes, we're recording. Vaughn, get with the program,
Why are you
man.
on your
Alright,
phone
alright.
if we're
Hey,
recording?
Fine. Fuck me.
Grant, shut
I've
that door.
been bro so many times.
What are you saying, dude?
Yeah, do what I said, bitch.
Yo.
Let's get right into it.
I don't know, bro.
So today is the
so here's
intervention
the issue,
for Grant
guys. So
Romer.
you're watching this podcast, and we actually filmed one prior to this, but the cards got corrupted, so we're retaking it.
They've taken us as prisoners.
Yeah, so we're
back.
running it back. So welcome back.
Run it back.
We're on.
Run it back.
Welcome to the podcast. We're on episode 34.
Well, technically 35.
Yeah.
But
34.5.
34.
Well,
30
nobody else will see this. We'll see the one that we shot, other than.
I mean,
Dang.
I have my angles.
They will forever have
Yeah,
to
and
think.
then you deleted the file off of my card when you.
Yeah,
Did.
I didn't do shit,
Yeah,
bro.
you did. It's okay. Not everybody knows how to
dude,
use these camera
I'm
things.
so scared that we're gonna press like done recording and they're just not gonna be on the card.
Yeah, that would suck.
wait, so what was the issue?
We have no idea.
Yeah.
The
So
video is
basically-
just
This could happen
gone.
again.
Yes. So if you
It
guys see
potentially
this,
could.
we
Here,
beat
hit-
the
hit
odds.
stop recording
no,
this angle.
No, I'm
Stop
not.
recording the angle and check.
Okay, Vaughn, start talking that way. It doesn't feel weird.
No, we're just checking.
Oh, brother.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
All right, so we're good. It's there. If there was a black screen on the YouTube video, apologize.
What should we talk about?
Well,
Let's talk about Vaughn Streets. I'm kidding.
that would be like 5
Just
podcasts
like every
in a row.
podcast.
Let's talk
Let's-
about Sebastian's first journey into a real prep.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
talked
How you
about that
feeling?
last time.
I heard about.
Oh, we did?
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't here.
You were.
Zach
like,
wasn't
no,
You
here.
didn't even watch the podcast.
I
Fake
did. No, I did
fan.
watch one because you
Fake
started
fan.
calling me Goggins again.
Yeah, we have our
Zachary
own
Goggins.
Zachary Goggins.
Nah, just not true.
Motivation
That is
of the
so
office.
true. What's your tagline?
Huh?
What's your tagline?
Work harder.
No.
What is it?
Headphones make you weak.
Oh,
That is some
make you
Those
God.
really
No,
got
let's-
tatted on them.
yeah, dude. That was my first tattoo.
What? Work harder?
Yeah.
Take us down that memory lane. Why'd you get it? How old were you?
Well, did it,
Ooh, that's good.
did it
Tattoos.
actually work?
Does it work?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's so that it seems stupid and funny, but so this was actually right after the first like prep that I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
I competed in summer shredding in 2020 in October, and I had prepped going.
Wait, you
into-
competed in summer shredding?
Yeah, very first show was summer shredding. Lil
Guzman's.
Lil Natty Zach on Guzman's.
Yeah.
It only makes
Goober
sense for you
Guzman.
to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it really
Win that
full
30K.
circle.
Yeah, we were
Well, yeah, that's something else we were talking about is potentially you
Summer
know,
Shredding Community
some
League.
summer shredding type
Yeah,
competitions.
so Zach's gonna prep for it. He's
I don't
gonna
know about that.
He's
Right
gonna prep
now,
me
I'm-
for it.
right
and he's
now,
gonna prep
yeah.
Seb for it.
Let's do it.
All three of us, and
do
then Vaughn is gonna just take a really fast 2-week prep.
Vaughn
and
could
just
show
smoke
up,
'em.
yeah, like 8 weeks out and win.
I'm just gonna fuck off.
He won't win 8. He won't win 8 weeks out, but I don't think he's going to be 8 weeks out because he has to grow for a pro show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because beating the people at
You
summer
gotta-
shredding versus a pro show is a little.
Yeah, let's see Vaughn in a board shorts
Yeah, but how much you
again.
gonna win at a pro show?
Huh?
How much you gonna win at a pro
That's-
show?
Everything's not about money.
Not
man.
everything's about money.
That's true. That is very true.
Um,
It's all right. He'll be sitting on his fucking throne of Vaughn Streets by that time. Just a fucking Mount Everest size
I have a feeling
pile
Vaughn
of
is gonna
Monopoly
reinvest and grow the
cash.
company before he sits on it.
That's true.
But
Nah.
anyway, back.
Yo, Vaughn's gonna pull he's gonna pull all his money out in ones and just make a big ass pile. Just sit on it.
All right,
I'm just gonna drain
Zach's
my bank
tattoos.
account on like some stupid car.
Yeah.
Have $0 to my name, but pull up in like a Lambo or something.
No, great. No, yeah, that would be funny.
Like a 1 of 1.
A 1 of 1.
Love to see it.
But anyways, continue your tattoo.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, so after the show, like everybody who's prepped can probably
Yeah.
know, like you feel like hyper motivated at the end of the prep,
And then you
know
get
what I mean? Like,
super fat
yeah.
and super
But, no,
depressed.
but for me, it was after that show. For some reason, I was so adamant that I was not gonna. Like I'd watched so much of like people having that happen, talking about it, whatever.
Yeah.
I was so honestly, the word is scared.
Yeah.
I was scared that would happen, and I think it was Ian that said something.
Ian
one time. Yeah,
Bayer?
yeah. Maybe it was on an Instagram story or whatever. But he said something about like, you just worked so hard to get here. Why would you throw that away in like 2 weeks or whatever? And so, based off of that, and I started running because I thought that was hard. So I was like, I'm gonna try this because like running, everybody knows running sucks. So I started running, and then one day I was like, I want a tattoo, and I was like, what should I get? I was like, I want something that like I'm not gonna be like, man, I really wish this wasn't like on me.
Yeah. You don't want to regret it in a few
And
years.
I had seen somebody else had like some words in this general area. So I just picked like a font that I wanted, and I went in there and I was like, I wanted it to say either this or it was going to be relentless or be relentless or something like that. But then I
Jesse
was
James
like,
West.
Jesse
well, here's the funny thing is like I did YouTube for like a month freshman year of college. And I put that at the end of every video. It was
What?
like the end screen was be relentless
So
or stay relentless.
Jesse James West stole that from you.
I don't know. No, he just
He
knows.
stole that
He
from
d-
you.
he has no idea
That's
the
the
fuck.
He saw that.
He doesn't
channel
know who I
tag.
It
am.
sounds like a lawsuit.
He doesn't. I didn't coin or anything. He doesn't know who I am. I'm not saying that. But no, I went with work harder, and it does. Like when I'm grabbing shit, doing push-ups. When I was running, and I would look down and see my arm, like if I was going to drink my water.
Yeah.
It was like, it sounds so cliche and so stupid, but when you're out there fucking doing it, like it does work.
Okay.
It does because it reminds you, like, okay, I inked that in myself. Like maybe I should
Yeah.
do it. And it keeps reminding you, like, I can do more than I'm doing right now. Whatever seems so overwhelming is not really that overwhelming.
That's cool. That's
That's
like
really
them Brett
dope.
Leg
It's
days.
cool to have tattoos that like
You need them.
are motivating.
It means something.
Because like you see so many tattoos that they'll get it when they're young and they'll just regret it in a few years, or they'll try to cover it up. So
My brother and my mom have this now.
oh really?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like a family thing. at
Well,
this
my
point.
brother went and got
Are you,
it, and then
are you
my,
gonna
my
tattoo
mom
your
saw
baby with it?
Huh?
Your first
probably,
child,
yeah,
right across
yeah.
the forehead.
No, it'll be in the same spot. I'll
Same
be reasonable.
Same spot.
Yeah,
God,
a constant reminder.
I guess.
Do a little bit more.
Be a little creative though. So unoriginal.
If you don't get it, that's okay. I understand.
But anyways, let's talk about your other tattoos briefly, and we'll kind of go
What are we
around the
talking
room.
about tattoos for?
Well, we just
Because-
kind of got here.
No,
like,
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So like, are there any meanings to your other tattoos?
Yes. So I have 3, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
One is Caesar.
Cool.
Caesar from like Planet of the Apes. And
Not
there's this-
Caesar salad.
No, absolutely not. There's no ranch dressing on mine. It's sponsored.
Well, actually, it would be Caesar dressing.
Correct, Vaughn. Croutons as well. Yeah, no, I like Caesar's character in the movie. I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like he chooses to stand up for like the people that, you know, he's with his community.
Yeah.
Community, the family, the apes, all the apes. They're not going to let people stomp all over him.
It's
And he's
technically
willing
a
to do
community
something.
of apes.
Yeah, but you get my point. So I think that's cool. I think he's a warrior, and I think that's dope.
Now, let's talk about this lion.
Then the lion is like the reflection of like this is where you are, and this is
Okay.
what you want to be.
Yeah.
Right. So he has the scar in his eye for being like it's
He had
not
to go
going to be an
through
easy
shit.
journey. You have to go through shit, and something's going to hurt. But that we all can make that transition. And then that's Pride Rock. So it kind of is like a
Lion King.
heritage ties
Yeah.
into the, everything else. And then I put this is actually Caroline's handwriting.
What
so
a
it
simp.
says "Heart You Forever," and she wrote it on my board one time when because my girlfriend did long distance for like 2 years, and I've known her for like 7.5 now. So she wrote that on my board, and I was like, you know, we hadn't seen each other in a while, and whatever. And she was coming out, and I was like, I think that's really cool. I want
Yeah.
something that is like I don't want her name, so I took a picture of it and then took it to the tattoo guy, and he put it there. So that was cool.
Very
I didn't know
nice.
something was
Yeah,
wrong
I'm
with
not
it.
Nothing crazy special about the animals, but
No, they have meaning. So like,
but everything here has meaning. Like
Yeah.
obviously I love her, and then I
she
wanna-
sounds like a lucky gal.
a lucky gal.
Yeah.
I would say I'm probably the lucky one.
Okay.
And then that's
Wow.
Caesar and his horse.
All right. Next up, Sebastian. I mean,
Me.
you have a couple fun looking ones.
We
Can't
got
really-
the we got the
can't really-
scattered sleeve.
Yeah, I can't really tell if there's any meaning to those, so you might fall
No,
under the
we
category.
we started with meaning. This one's like Greek for where there's a will, there's a way. Nordic symbol for warrior. God is greater than the highs and lows. 6 from my birth month. And then this is my favorite just because it's my family, the 2 girls, the 3 guys.
Oh, cool.
And then from there, it kind of just went into
Cool
this is
shit.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
What's
this
that
tatted.
spider thing?
The spider was the first one that was like, this is cool.
Is
Or
it a
actually,
widow?
Wait, that was your first. Which was the first one?
my first one was the constellations because
Okay.
I've always loved astronomy. I wanted to be like an astronomer when I grew up since I was little,
How'd that turn out?
and that did not turn out as expected.
So
I'm
when
here.
you hit on girls, do you take them to like stare at the stars? Or when
that-
you
was
did-
that
when
your
you
first
did, I
date
should
with-
say.
it
Is that
was
your
a
first
good,
date
it
with
was
Gabby?
a
Nice
go-to
lady, no.
move. No,
Oh.
it wasn't.
Damn.
But
You
it
missed
was
out.
Miller's Ale House.
You're so trash, bro. You are such a trash
We can
bag.
get like
Bro.
a mountain melt or something.
Yeah,
We can get the
exactly.
loaded tenders, babe.
The mountain melt with the
You
brownie
definitely
sundae.
You definitely split the checks.
Hey, I was broke, man.
Hey, the app's go on her bill. Come on, bro, help me out.
It's like, hey, I didn't eat any of the appetizer you ordered, so can we put that on your bill?
So I literally had a friend who would, in high school, we would go to the beach and like he would count the miles, or like we would get food and he's like, you actually had 3/4 of this. I only had a fourth. So I'm going to Venmo you a fourth. Of, like he would literally like break it down mathematically.
I would split nothing with
I'm
him.
like, what are you
I would
doing?
smack him.
Bro, every meal doesn't need to come with a math equation.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
What the fuck's going on?
So I got like half meaningful, half dope.
Cool.
So
Bro,
Vaughn?
you, Vaughn?
I have quite a few. There's only like probably 3 or 4 that actually have meaning. The one on my forearm here, got that after my dad passed away. We like probably one of my greatest memories growing up was like us like always going out on the boat and just like tooling around on the water and that kind of thing. So I got a little skull captain for him. I got roses on the back for my mom.
yeah.
The Young LA tat was for the trip with Mr. Grant. That was I don't know, probably the most fun I ever had in my life. And I got the bird for my grandpa after he passed away. So everything else is kind of just like tossed on there to make it go together.
Ties it all together.
Because I really wanted a sleeve, so I just was like, fuck it, just do whatever. But yeah. But you?
I got one. It's on my forearm. It's the Young LA logo and scripts. I'm a walking billboard for this company now, but I love it. Like Vaughn said, like, bro, like that LA trip, it was for his birthday. It was right after he came off the pro card. So, like, bro,
Great time.
that trip was just like all high.
I've never been to LA.
Gary literally
I've
just
never been to LA.
wine and dined us. Fucking,
That was a lot of fun.
yeah. So,
Yeah. I mean, there's like people will be like, why would you ever get a?
you have the raw
I forgot about
tattoo.
the most
Yeah,
important
bro.
raw-
Forgot about the most
Bro.
important tat, bro.
Just because I have to get it done.
You got
still.
it twice.
I did get it twice.
That raw logo.
But honestly, Young LA and Raw, they both changed my life. So huge parts of the journey.
Yeah.
So, gotta
Exactly.
write it down.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is like people will be like, why would you be a walking billboard? Like, why would you get a brand tattooed on you? But like,
Or
Young
somebody-
LA literally
somebody
changed
said that
your
to me
life.
in the fucking gym not too long ago.
Really?
Dead
Let's,
ass?
let's just correct this. Why the fuck do you care?
Yeah.
It's not your body.
Yeah, I was. Bro,
Just
and
shut
I-
up. Like, no, because
no-
I wanted to.
No hate on this dude, but then I see him and he's got a fucking lizard tattoo. Like, what are you doing, bro? Hating on me for something that changed my life.
I bet he was doing kickbacks.
Damn.
Ultimate insult.
But yeah, so basically a little bit what we were talking about last pod. We'll kind of, I guess, like break it, make it more concise, like shorten it up, short and sweet. We were talking about topics given to us from the Instagram, and we had a couple good ones. Although I will say towards the end, it was a little bit better just because we were bullshitting more. So take the floor, boys.
Grant's a horrible podcast host. Because
I'm trying to be the host.
What Grant does is he starts to like portray himself as someone who is about to ask questions and start a conversation.
It says, all right,
And then he looks
go
across the
for it.
table and he's like, "Hey, Vaughn, go for it."
Like last podcast.
That's great. That's great.
This super deep question. He's like, all right, let's hear it. We're like, bro, no, you go first.
Yeah, he asked everybody about what their why was of their purpose.
See, here's the reason why though is because
It's a great question, but
it's a
you
great
don't
question,
know.
but it's not like I made the question. It was given to us. It was
Okay.
a topic that we had.
Grant, what's your why?
My why is to be a bitch.
You're living up to it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. No, I actually want to go off of kind of like the that one question that was like, do GNC supplements actually work? What do you actually think about GNC supplements? I remember being in college and getting into the gym and going to GNC, and the GNC guy hyping up like the latest bundle that had like, I don't even remember what it was, but it had like pump pills, and it had the vitamin packs that had like the omegas and D3 like
the
in the
test
little
booster
pack,
too?
the test booster.
Bro, he was just
and
trying
I
to
was like,
steal your money.
Bro, that's just like a, that's just like a bad person.
yeah,
He's just trying to
he's
steal
like,
your
look, for the
money."
low price of $80, you are gonna be diced like after you take this. And yeah, I didn't get diced. So Zach, what's your take on the GNC subs?
Well, GNC is about to take in. Wall
They're about
Street,
to,
so-
and they're about to take
great-
in
it's a
Raw,
great
which we
company.
may
To-
not.
That you're right, Vaughn.
To be-
GNC is a lovely company.
GNC
and
is
we
a lovely
love All
company.
the stores.
Oh, of
I
course.
think that's a hard question to answer because, like, I mean, you could approach it from one aspect of like, what is the quality of the
Yeah.
ingredients they're using? I don't specifically know because I don't investigate it. Like, because I don't personally use their supplements due to the fact that I work at a supplement company that has the majority of everything that I need. So I think the best way to answer that question would be is, are you getting the right supplements for what you're trying to fix? I think that I have been in stores before, and it's not just GNC. It's any store, especially where anything is commission based. They were, you know, what I observed was an older man, probably 70 plus, and he was consuming this information from a worker that was telling him he needed BCAAs, right? He's 70 years old. He doesn't need BCAAs, right? Like, if anything, maybe a protein powder would be good for him. There's probably things for his joints and stuff like that, assuming those are issues that maybe he deals with that would be more beneficial. Or maybe even just magnesium so that he can sleep better, right? Instead of, let's go with the BCAA route. So I think with supplement stores such as GNC, such as Vitamin Shop, where there's such a wide selection, I think it's not as much do their supplements work. It's like, you know, okay, do their supplements work? Well, my joints hurt and I started taking creatine.
It makes no sense.
What do you, maybe
But that's what
turmeric
the-
or
but that's
maybe,
what
you
the-
know, there's
that's
a
what
whole.
that's what the worker told me to do.
No, of course. So I think the issue is not the supplements themselves as much as it is
People
being,
educating
themselves.
being educated. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one thing I would recommend to anybody going into those stores that is trying to find help or something. There might be people who can help you with things you might not be able to learn on your own, but do your due diligence, do enough research on the front end so that when you go in there, if someone starts blowing smoke to you to try to upsell you,
Kinda can sense
you
it.
can at least say, hey, like, this doesn't, I know BCAAs because I've read about them online for 10 minutes. Probably not the most beneficial thing to me right now, right? Even an EAA is likely not what a 70-year-old needs.
No.
So,
not at
like,
all.
educating yourself a little bit before you go in, I think, is the way to approach that.
Very nice.
I'm not going to shit on anybody's supplements I don't know.
Oh, yeah, for
Well,
sure.
this is perfect because this can bring up the question we had last time. What is your favorite product from Raw? Top single.
Let's go. If you had one pre-workout stack, what are you doing?
Oh, now we're changing it up.
Let's do that because we can talk a little more.
Yeah, go to
Pre-workout?
pre-workout stack.
Fuck, dude, that's tough. I'm thinking like 2 scoops of Thavage, like
You want me to go first?
Chris's Secret Stuff, and raspberry lemonade pump. 2 scoops of that, and then pump squared.
That is
Like
very
2 to
good.
3 scoops.
Orange Essential,
I knew this.
lemonade pump,
Yeah.
2 scoops of pump squared, and then a Gatorade mid workout.
Wow.
Oh, that
Really free.
that's cheating.
Wow.
Not cheating. That's
high
carbs. That's
called
That's
intro.
carbs.
That's
yeah,
intra.
That's
That is intra, not pre.
And we only drink raw intra workout around here.
I drink Gatorade powder.
Oh,
Tastes
never
better.
mind. Yo.
I'm not. I'm be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Cut that.
does the intro work?
Cut
The
that,
intro
cut
works
that.
really well. Personally, I have an issue with anything with too much. Like the
It's gritty. It's sandy.
Well, it's like the texture in my mouth while I'm training can mess with me. I almost always just drink water. If I'm gonna have to have carbs, I put the Gatorade powder into like a big bottle and dilute it. Like, that's
Yeah.
personally what I do. My favorite stack is like basically spot on with what Vaughn said. I would do essential. I would do a pump. It would be probably orange and lemonade if I'm mixing those. And then from there, I would go 2 to 3 pumps of pump squared and cranks of salt.
Oh.
I do a
Wait,
little
but
bit of
isn't
salt
there
sometimes.
salt?
There
in
is.
the-
Pink
I
Himalayan.
like
Just-
adding a
you
little
just-
bit more.
See, it's tough.
Not on
though.
a back day though. On a back day,
Oh my gosh.
What is it? Tyrosine or taurine?
Well, taurine is something that I'll take 4 to 6 grams of taurine. Like, probably, I try to do it about like 90 minutes, 2 hours out of the workout.
Yeah.
Because it comes in caps and stuff, so it
Yeah.
probably takes a minute to get in the system. to mitigate back pumps. I don't take anything with a pump product in it, really. I'll take Essential, but if I take a pump product on leg day, my low back will pump up too. So I don't want that.
Yeah, mine has changed recently with the pump RTD. I go essential. I go essential, and pump squared, and then drink the Rainbow Sherbet pump
Bro,
RTD.
that's 6.4 grams
Oh
of beta.
my.
So yeah, there's
That
a good
gets
question
me
for you. How does the
going.
beta alanine?
It honestly isn't that. It doesn't bother me too much.
You've worked
Yeah,
into
I
it,
think I've worked
tolerance.
into it. Yeah.
So if you take a
So
pre
the
without
pumps
beta, are you like fiending for it or like?
I don't fiend for beta alanine, but like when I feel it, it feels good.
Yeah.
I like it.
You like the itches?
Have you
like
ever?
the
Here's a
tingles?
question: Have you ever taken Ignite and started working out?
Oh my!
Yeah.
I
dude,
took Ignite and hit legs
nauseous.
once.
Oh, dude.
I'm not kidding.
I took.
That was the worst decision I've ever made.
I mean,
No, I'm sure.
does it count for like fasted cardio?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Just
talking
like-
about take Ignite, go train with Brett.
No,
Oh,
I mean,
I feel like bro, when I take Ignite, or at least during prep, when I had other stuff with the Ignite, I had the cold sweats, and I'd feel like I was.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
dead.
what
Yeah.
happened. Was the cold sweats.
I would like shake.
What is that from? The yohimbine?
The HC? It's the yohimbine raucilene.
It's
that.
Rawulsine can do it to you. I don't really know because it's like there's another company, Fat Burner, that I took before I worked here called Project AD. It's shreddable.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's
I'll tell you,
different,
so
though.
I've told this story a couple times, but I took Shreddable.
They
did
had
my-
illegal ingredients in that.
It would not surprise me.
No. They had to reformulate it 3 times because the first 2 times it got shut down. So like the
Yeah.
OG Shreddable, I swear to you, it must have had like 1 Raucilene, but on top of that, like either Ritalin or Clen. Like it was one of those 2.
I don't whatever I took didn't have that in there. But the Shreddable that I took, like I literally took it, did my fasted cardio, got off the treadmill, went upstairs to shower real quick.
You were still sweating.
Right, I got out of the shower and I felt good, and then immediately I started like getting really cold and profusely sweating.
Yep.
Right, so I went and tried to like get under something warm, started sweating even more.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, like I'm all covered in sweat. I need to get back in the shower.
Yep.
Get back in the shower. I would feel good. I did. I got out of the shower 3 times before I finally said like I literally sat in there with a bathing suit on. I'm not kidding. Just sat in the shower, turned the water on, and fell asleep for 45 minutes because it was the point of prep where like I didn't have like a lot of like energy or mental energy to want to deal with this, and like it was miserable when I got out of the shower. So I was like, I'm just gonna lay here until this stops.
Yeah.
And then I had the same thing happen when I did fasted cardio when I traveled to Denver to film for Brett. This same exact thing happened. Like I got on the machine, and then I was going back to his place to chill and edit before we were gonna film his video at home. And when I was driving to his place, I just stopped at Target and buy like long sleeve clothing because I didn't have any with me because of how like I was getting those cold sweats and chills. And like I wasn't gonna go in his house and like crank the AC. Like it's not my house. I'm not touching that. So I just put on as much warm clothes as I could and went and sat in the sun like on his little porch. And I was like, oh my, what is going on here? But
That's insane.
yeah, Ignite kind of has some of those tendencies, but not like pronounced. I feel like it's just like good enough to
How many
burn.
And you
fat.
can also get
How many
used to it.
capsules did you take?
I started with 2 and then worked up to
Ignite?
3, and then
4 is what 1 serving of Ignite.
yeah, one
Yeah.
serving of Ignite is 4, bro. I got all the way up to 8 during prep.
what, dude?
Yeah.
That's like
8 at once.
6,
That's 8, no, it's 800 milligrams of caffeine. on
That's
one serving.
800 milligrams of caffeine.
It's either 800
bro.
or 600.
600.
I think
yeah.
it's 600.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
600, but like obviously like
Obviously,
No,
what?
there's no
I'd be-
obviously.
I
That's
would-
insane.
Did you take Clen with that?
yeah. I
That's
think I was,
absurd.
Like, bro, my caffeine, like my adrenals, they were definitely shot during prep
You're lucky you
because,
didn't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
dude, you know what the scariest part was?
I'm
my
serious.
I
heart.
couldn't even imagine waking
You know
up
what this-
800
Let's-
800 milligrams caffeine.
You know what the
to go.
scariest part was though about that? Like, I would be fine.
Disclaimer: do not do
Do
that.
not
Yeah,
try
don't
that.
don't ever do that. Like,
But anyway, yeah. So I think Ignite can be pretty.
You can
pretty
get
rough,
used to it.
But Burn is pretty good too.
I like burn.
Yeah, Burn is one of my favorite. But I will say, when I take Burn, you got to drink that shit fast.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
it gets
the
thick. 'Cause
there's some
texture-
ingredients.
The texture of
Yeah.
it's like
It gets
slimy.
pasty.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gets.
It's like
thick.
gl-
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to mix that up and drink it. But it's really good. I mean,
I
I
don't
took
like. Oh, dude.
I was doing 2 Ignites, and that took like a week to get used to, like of cold sweats, and then I got used to it, and then I upped to 3, and then I was
So
like
you eased your-
fine.
you eased your way into
Yeah,
it.
but as soon as I like came off, I felt deprived because I got so used to it.
Yeah, it's that initial hit in the morning.
Yeah,
You're just like,
exactly. So it was like real grogginess at first.
Sebastian, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
As someone who is like, kind of really starting their first real prep, specifically, what is different than what you thought it would be? What are the things you're finding? Because I think there are probably a lot of people who watch the podcast that maybe consider competing or like want to start and they don't know what it's like. They don't know what to expect. They don't know where they're at. What would you say is something that, since you're now been in it for almost a month, like what kind of intricacies of it have you found like odd, you didn't expect, you think are hard or easy? Or
I think the hardest part is I just passed the hardest part because, like I was telling you the other day, it's once you get deeper into it, and I kind of went through a prep. Like I had a coach who helped me out, but he wasn't like a coach. He was just a friend that was helping me out, and I got really lean, but I wouldn't really consider it a proper prep. But this, I was fluffy, and now I'm less fluffy, but I'm not shredded. But I'm getting to the point where I'm getting leaner, and I can see the differences every check-in. But up until now, it was like I would take check-ins, and I'm like, nothing feels different. I feel like I look the same. A burger won't hurt. Like eating something isn't going to hurt because I don't look different. But persevering through that and now actually being able to see a difference in me getting tighter every check-in, it's like, holy crap, it just pushes you to want to keep going and keep looking better and push the limits even more. So I think now I'm definitely like locked in and ready to go and just, I want to see what I look like diced. So
come time of the event,
which one?
are you
the Orlando
Orlando?
in June.
Buy your tickets.
Are you gonna just like
I'm
chill with the food, or
I'm gonna obviously
Nah, homie's
discuss
a
with
fat kid at heart.
Zach and plan this out. But the biggest thing for me is that I want to enjoy it. I want to be stress free and enjoy it. But at the same time, I do want to stay disciplined and eat the right things, not just, all right, it's a vacation, time to just binge. So I want to make sure I'm eating all the right clean foods. When I'm going out to dinner, get like, we went to the steakhouse the other night, just get like steak and veggies.
How are those potatoes?
I wish I got potatoes, but just keeping everything very clean, and obviously not overeating, just because it's okay foods. I'm not going to eat 6,000 calories of it.
yeah.
So just being good about it, being clean about it for those 2-3 days, reevaluate from there and just get right back in the rhythm. Because the biggest thing there is I'm basically, me and Dan are in charge of accommodating our 10 newest athletes that won the athlete search, and taking care of the current athletes that were flying down to the event. So I just want to be in the right headspace, make sure they get the best experience and that they are able to soak everything in. So I want to be present in the moment with them, just having a good time, play paintball, do all that fun stuff and have the energy for that. But as soon as that's over, it's right back to it.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a perfect time to implement a little mega fit or something.
Exactly. And hopefully, I'm pretty sure MegaFit will be sponsoring that weekend. So
I think
Oh,
your
dope.
biggest key from what little experience I have is, like I said, I told you at the beginning, and I've said this several times, you're a grown man. You can do whatever you want to do, right? So when it comes time for that, I think the biggest warning I could give to you or to anyone else who's like, in a diet, but they're going to go on vacation and want to enjoy it. You can enjoy it without, and not saying this to you directly, anybody, you can enjoy it without being an asshole. Like, it's not an eating competition for the X amount of hours that you have where you have some freedom.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying, though?
Like,
Like,
it could be.
There could be.
but at Crumble though,
well, it could be, but the problem in those situations is if you deprive yourself leading into something, then you give yourself freedom and you eat something you really shouldn't eat, then that mental switch, like, especially in a prep, can really go on people.
oh, I know.
So I think it's just remembering, like I said earlier in the other podcast, was focus. Like, you focus on what you want. Like, yeah, you might, when you go out, you might not be taking your meal to the restaurant, but you order a steak instead of the chicken fingers and you move on with life. Like, I think a lot of
That
people
sounds so much
overthink
better
shit.
anyways.
It is. That's for sure is.
Yeah, literally what threw me off for months what got me out of my rhythm for months from eating clean was I was pushing hard for like 6 weeks. Oh, we'll do the show in 2 more weeks. Oh, we'll do the show in 2 more weeks. And I was eating 1,600 calories for like 6 weeks straight.
At that size for you, which really isn't that bad.
It sucked.
Chris ate like 15 or
Anyway.
1,600 for the Olympia before this one.
Anyway, a fat Papa John's stuffed crust pizza sounded
what-
so
What is the
good.
obsession
that-
with Papa John's?
It
Yeah, why
sounded
Papa
so
John's?
good.
Why not
And
Domino's?
I finally
Why
caved.
not a good pizza place?
What do you
Yeah.
mean? Papa John's stuffed crust is amazing.
I'm saying like.
What do you mean? You're on
like,
prep. None of it sounds good. You don't eat any of it.
That doesn't mean it doesn't sound good. Anyway, I had been like craving that for weeks for whatever reason. And I finally caved and I ate like an entire XL Papa John's stuffed crust pizza. And after that, I was never the same until literally this prep. I could never
I bet
catch
that
back
pump
on.
the next day was sick.
Oh, it was insane. But like
See,
I could
call
not
that
catch
the inner
my.
bitch. You just let it get too loud. No, that's just a stupid.
Yeah, no, it's serious.
It's a cliche way to say it, but it's the inner bitch. It's like, I've even noticed it with you when we go certain places. You don't eat like I've never seen you eat like an asshole. Not
I
one
try
time.
not to.
And I know that all of
I'll
us
enjoy
have.
my food. Yeah.
All of us have, and I think it's unhealthy to get to the point where like you can't eat one fucking nacho, you know, when you're not on prep, and you're like, oh god, like. But at the same time, it's you kind of like you don't let that idea. Oh, I don't have control of this. Like I got to go here. Like this. It's like you create this mentality in your head that you're a victim to some like external control.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I see the sign, so I have to eat it.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, I've been there. Like after my first show, I was perfect for like 8.5 weeks, literally perfect. And then I snapped. It was bad. Like Uber Eats on my phone was dead. I would Uber eat something else to my house before I finished the first thing. Bro, I was like a professional eater. But really what I was someone not employing discipline, right? At all.
Yeah.
And I think the hard part is like in our heads, we can like work ourselves up to where we think like, I'm trying so hard not to eat this and I eat it. It's like, well, I mean, 2 weeks ago, you literally didn't eat anything you weren't supposed to eat.
Yeah.
So why can you not do that today? Like what
Yeah.
exactly changed?
Exactly.
But I think that's like part of what makes bodybuilding cool is like, it's a big battle for like trying to figure out what you want.
I think I find it funny too because like that's where I vary from you. You're like, I love bodybuilding because I love the mental challenge and telling myself no and no, you can't eat this. And I'm like, I just want to be diced.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I want to
don't get me
eat.
wrong. I want to be peeled.
I want to
Every single
eat,
day I
but
hear this kid. He's like, "Damn, bro, this shit's not for me."
literally every night I'm like, do I really want to do this? Like, I love food.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think verbalizing that helps you?
Oh no, not at all.
You
But
know what
I
it
mean,
does? It feeds that inner bitch. That thing is getting louder and louder.
I know.
Next thing you know, on a hack squat set, it's gonna come out. 2 plates? Nope. You know what I
no,
mean?
but I always say that.
Thanks,
but
Goggins.
I love
my God.
I love this. Like I love doing this.
Do
And
you?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
love
sure?
it. So
I want you to video him screaming. This is not for me, Vaughn. Vaughn,
It's literally like every other day. I
call
say it.
crumble.
I'll always say it like once a day, but
We're painting your car pink if you cheat on your diet.
I'll take the Crumble Bronco.
no.
any
I
day
said
of the
we're
week.
painting your car pink.
My Pathfinder.
Yeah, we'll
the
wrap
pink
it.
wrap
A pink Pathfinder. Help you find your way.
for real.
Which way is that?
The little bitch way.
That's fine. Okay. This is a good question. What was the hardest part of y'all's? Because y'all prep together.
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest part of y'all's prep? So one thing that bugged you the most.
Honestly, probably the hardest thing was the fact that it was my first prep. And I
Yeah.
didn't know what the fuck to expect.
Yep.
So it was just like every day I was just waking up. I was like, fuck, like, I am starving. Like I wasn't used to
That feeling.
that feeling at all. But like, I feel like if I went into a prep now, like
You know what to expect.
I know what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
it was just
do
like
it.
I woke up every. Shut the fuck up.
It's harder not to prep, honestly.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
for you.
Stuff in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. But yeah, just like not knowing what I was waking up to the next day. Just like I wake up fucking hungry. And I'm like I can't even eat. bro.
Yeah.
Like
I got to go get on the treadmill.
yeah,
Or
exactly,
the elliptical
yeah.
or just stairs
It's like
or whatever
90
you do.
minutes. I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Great.
But
What about you?
Mine's not even prep related, bro.
Would you run out of kale? Bro, eat kale like a rabbit.
Dude, that shit was during prep. That shit hit. But bro, to be honest, my prep. Like, here's the thing. Like, when it comes to like, if I flip the switch and I go into prep mode, like, all of that just becomes like autopilot, systemic. Like,
It's just what you do.
It's just what I do because I had other things to focus on. So for me, my biggest thing that didn't piss me off, but I was just like, was when I think it was around 3.5 weeks out. Senor over here just goes like on the occasional ghost streak on me. Granted, I knew like he was like it was his first prep, so he was
Yeah.
cutting. But like for me,
I was just like doing my thing.
Yeah,
I needed a second.
Yeah, and for me, I was just like, bro, like we need videos. Come on, and like I'm over here prepping too, and I'm just like,
You're,
like,
you're a different breed for
Grant,
being able to do that.
yeah.
and prep at this.
because
Prep Grant.
that's literally what
you
took-
too. I don't know how the fuck you do it.
That's what
I think
took
it's just
me-
like but it would be like for you like dealing with the social pressures and stuff.
Yeah.
Because people are watching you, man. Like next
Yeah.
time you prep, people have eyes on you.
Oh my God,
Nobody
yeah.
gives two fucks about what I look like, right? Y'all in the office are about the only people that even know I bodybuild.
You're still like giving it your all though, and then
Yeah, I
you're
do-
working
yeah, I
here,
try.
like typical shift.
Yep.
Then you're going to the gym, filming Brett, working out, doing all
yeah,
that shit.
while
So-
working
all your
out.
other
That's
retainers as
insane.
well. So
Yeah.
it's like
if I
it's
was
a
me,
lot.
I'd be holding the camera like fucking falling asleep.
I will say, I don't know if you noticed this. Like I do two things when I'm towards an end of a prep and I'm
Oh, you
like filming.
lean.
I lean on shit, I sit on shit, and I chew like literally
Absurd amount of gum.
like 18 pieces of gum, whatever comes in with the 15 pieces of gum.
Yeah.
Chew all of it in one filming session. Because it keeps me like,
Yeah.
it's not doing anything to me. And people are like, oh, it messes up your digestion and like bloats you and all this stuff. It's like, if that does that to you, fine. That's cool. I also drink 2 liters of diet soda a night. I'm great. I feel awesome. Like, so those types of things don't bother me. But yeah, I sit. I find myself sitting. Now I still, like, I'm getting a good angle. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
just sitting like, hey, I'm sitting in this chair filming like, halfway across the warehouse. I'm not
Get that
70 to
200
200
mil.
on everybody. But yeah, no, I find myself sitting a lot, which is interesting.
Honestly, you should just get like a rolly chair. And
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, just get a cart and
There's gotta be
follow Brett around.
something.
Make Brett pull me around in a wagon.
yeah.
Child.
Can you imagine? That would be funny.
For me, it was just an escape, like, because as long as I had something to, like, I needed to focus on it, like, it was
Yeah.
a more important type of situation. Like, I could literally just, like, just put it on the back burner in my head, and it's like, as long as I have my meals, as long as I have, like, everything I can just grab and go, don't even think about
Yeah,
it.
you gotta be working. So it's like,
Yeah.
and when I'm like, if you're editing, if filming, if you're doing any of those
Oh,
things,
dude,
you
time
can't
flies.
just focus straight on food.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, you
exactly.
want your next meal, no shit. But like, you understand that maybe it's like for me, when I did my very first prep, all I had was school. School went online because
Yeah,
of
COVID.
Because of COVID. So it was like, am I really? Because this really like, what do I do? I
Yeah.
eat a meal and do what? Like I've done all my homework. I'm waiting to go train.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would go train for 2.5 hours alone just because I just wanted to be out of the house.
Yeah.
Like I literally saw that as here is a period of time where I know I won't have to be focused on eating.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think the best way to approach a prep is just it's just what you do.
For
Yeah.
me, the easiest, and this is going to sound weird, the easiest week of the entire prep was peak week. That was by
I think
far,
if you manage your stress, it is the easiest week.
by far.
You should already be there.
I mean, I wasn't, or at least Kyle didn't think I was, so I was still coming down. But for me, I woke up. I already knew what I had to do. I already knew what food I had to eat. And, like, it was so fast-paced. And since we were doing daily vlogs at that point, like, the second we're done filming, I need to edit to get it out. So it's like my mind was always busy on something, which made it so nice because peak week, 7 days felt like 2. Like, the longest prep ever felt was probably in between, like, 5 and 4 weeks out because that was, like, when the first, like, big drop in food happened. It was, like, I went from, like, 2,500 to, like, 1,900. Like, from 5 weeks out to 4 weeks out, that was the drop I took. So it's, like, then from 5
That's
weeks...
like pulling a whole meal.
Yeah,
that's
so then
tough.
so then from 5 weeks out on, it went from 5 weeks out to 4 weeks out, went from 1,900 to 1,750. From 4 weeks out to 3 weeks out, it went from 1,750 to 1,480. And then from 3 weeks out until show, I was on 1,480 with like, I think 2 refeeds. So I was like,
This is a message to everyone out there. Try to push your off season to where you can get your calories up
yeah.
and be lean, because then it will put you in 1,000 times better position to do a prep.
That's why I'm so like when people like I always get it. I honestly get this question once a day, either through like DMs, in person. If I see someone, they're like, "Oh, so like when are you going to compete next?" In my headspace, I'm like, "Bro, I'm
When I'm eating 4,500 calories, I'm not
4,500,
losing
bro.
weight or not gaining weight.
I want to eat like 5,000. Like, there's no way in hell I want to, because like even from 4,500, I'm gonna get.
So this sounds like we need to get together and write you a meal plan. Start doing check-ins.
Dude, I had
Is that
my
what it sounds like to y'all?
He's just gonna keep scratching. his head.
I had my first high day, and that
Yeah, and
that
you
was
sh-
what, like 2,000, 3,000 what?
It's just like 3,500
It was
calories.
3,500 calories, and I was
3,500?
struggling to get that
See,
down.
right now,
I can't
like,
imagine.
Okay, so, and to put it in perspective, like I'm eating 3,500 calories consistently, and like I'm not gaining weight. So like, and I'm purposely just staying.
But
here.
you're probably eating 3,500 calories of also cheat meals.
Yeah, it's cheat meals here and there, but like at minimum, like I think
You're probably eating 2, maybe 3 good meals a day.
no, like 4. I'm still eating like 5 to 6 times a day. Like I know, like we joke about
And
it,
then
like,
just
how,
go crazy at night.
No, like I know how we joke about how like I only eat 2 meals a day. Like no, like I
you
always
eat more than that.
I always make sure I get my meals in, but it's like yeah. So like I mean, to be honest, the past couple days I didn't really cheat except like Shayna's birthday and
Yeah.
even sailfish. I ate a little, but I always have like at least 4 to 5 clean meals. So like right there, that's like at least 200 grams of protein a day. My carbs are probably sitting anywhere from like 400 to 500, and then my fats are like really low.
Mine are not there right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh?
No, the carbs.
That's
What are you?
just
What are
my
you?
calories.
Do you know what calories you're at right now?
Uh-uh.
No.
I have no idea.
That's another thing. When you go into a prep, it's so much, at least in my opinion, it's so much.
I'm eating less than you right now, though.
Really?
Probably. We're starting to push because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
want
yeah.
to get ahead.
It's so much easier just to go on a meal plan
What do you mean than calories?
than macros. Like I know coaches that do macros.
Well, if you're on
and I
if you're on
know-
a prep, if you're seriously prepping, like
Yeah.
if you are serious about what you're doing, you do not do. There's no one who does macros that's absolutely serious about what they're doing.
So here's my
Like
question.
in my opinion, I can't. Now it doesn't mean you can't look wicked on macros.
Yeah.
Like absolutely you can for sure. But like if we're going into a show where we're literally need to know how this certain food is going to affect your waist or your body or your absorption, right? Of this, how do you look after you eat this? Right? There are things that matter. Like those
Yeah.
details matter when you're trying to be at the top.
100%.
Like with Brett, I assure you, when I've been there filming a show, never once has Matt sent him, hey, I want you to have 100 carbs with this meal and 40 grams of protein and 25 grams of fat.
No.
So he's not eating fucking cheese sticks and Rice Krispie treats.
Well,
You know,
it's not even that. It was like at least towards the end of my prep, it was the difference between rice cakes and rice.
yes.
Wet
Like, I would
versus
get-
dry
Yes.
carbs.
I would get extremely bloated off of rice cakes.
Yep.
But I can just fire through like
Rice.
straight jasmine rice.
Yep.
So
And then everybody differs in what they can and cannot handle. But I mean, and also the idea of the macros too is you start to realize like, okay, maybe you can break a macro plan down to, hey, you have 5 meals, you're training after meal 3. I want you to have these macros in each meal. That would be the next step, right? But still at the same time, it's like, well, what if you change your source in meal 1 and 2 for your carbs? You don't realize the rice cakes bloat you. Today's like a big, heavy leg day. It's like your last real true leg day. Now you can't train.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
can, but you're impeded the entire time because you chose to eat rice cakes instead of your typical meal, you know, or whatever the hell it would be. But you get my point. It's like you can narrow down exactly what's happening. Also, like if you had things off in your blood work, if you're deficient in certain micronutrients or you know, minerals or whatever that you might be getting from the foods you're eating, or over you know, saturating yourself, or you know, eating too much of something that potentially could be bad too. So it's like we need to like pay attention to these things when we're trying to be the best we can be, not, hey, like, it's your macros, bro.
Bro, you couldn't even do it.
Like, let me eat a Snickers. Let me fit that in. All right, man. Whatever. Like,
Yeah. We mentioned it last podcast. The worst thing worst thing you could do in a prep. Don't do this either. Don't switch your meals, because I did that last prep.
well, here's the best way to prep: find a knowledgeable coach and then listen to them. If you don't agree with something, ask questions. Other than that, just follow the plan. Like, to me, I don't ever get it.
It's
when people
really
do
that
this. It's
simple.
Like I want a piece of paper that says do this, 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 because that, like you were saying, like
Yeah.
you're an autopilot.
Yeah.
I'm following a sheet and I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I don't think any more about it than I need to, because then you start working shit up too, and now you're stressed about something like shouldn't even be stressed about. So that's like, oh, can I have white rice instead of jasmine rice? Okay, well, I mean, if you really have if that's really that important to you, ask your coach. but don't sit around here like, you know, it's not like something you need to research on the internet for 400 hours. It's something stupid. People do crazy stuff, you know.
What the fuck is the difference between white rice and jasmine rice?
The name. Probably the shape of the grain and maybe the
Jasmine
No,
made
but, like,
one.
I believe
Is-
the carb content is.
Is it different?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like huge.
There's different size of the grains and stuff.
Wow.
The
Pretty
bigger the
interchangeable.
grain, the more carbs.
Yeah,
I didn't realize white rice was
Wow.
that much bigger.
so much bigger. It's actually like 8 times the size.
White is a lot
Really?
bigger.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Can I try brown rice my next prep?
If you, I mean, if you're prepping, if you get some like vegan coach or something that wants to do that with you, then
Why vegan? You got something against vegans?
no.
Why'd
that
you
just-
name them?
that
Why'd you
just-
name them?
That just sounds like something a vegan
you
would want you to
singling
eat.
them out? What's
What
wrong?
quinoa, quinoa.
You don't
Quinoa.
fuck with quinoa. I like
Quinoa and
quinoa.
tofu.
Yeah, I'm putting him on the kale and quinoa diet.
Bro, bro, I could cruise on that.
What about, okay, here's another good one for you, Seb. Training. You came probably from an environment where there weren't a bunch of pro bodybuilders.
No.
How was it the first time you were like in the gym around people like that?
Oh God, it was crazy. I
Were you like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, why is
Yeah.
everybody
well,
screaming?
that's the thing is that like when I first started going to the gym, like if I saw you or Brett train, I'd be like, "Shh, frick is wrong with these guys?" Like,
The face.
like I thought I was the little skinny dude who thought he was the stuff. Like I would be the one wearing the Gymshark Legacy stringer. Like
Oh my
I was the broccoli
the
head
fro.
TikTok boy. Yeah, like I thought I was the stuff, and these big bodybuilders, I'm like, you're trying too hard, man.
You're telling them
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Fucking
Watch this real quick. And
260 shredded.
Yeah,
and You're
exactly.
looking at him. Like,
yeah. So
Bro, I would be embarrassed to walk by Brett in one of those stringers.
yeah, so
Oh, God.
anyway, so I mean, even when I came here, I had a good concept of training. I learn more and more every day, but I had a good concept of training, but I was lacking in the intensity department.
Most
And
people
then-
are.
Almost everybody.
Yeah, and then I think it was Vaughn I worked out with the first time, and I was like, the frick kind of workout is this? Like, I'm just trying to catch a pump, like look good, and then
Take some
leave.
photos.
Yeah, like
I'm trying to catch a pump, look good, and leave.
dude's got me like out of breath and like struggling to get the last one, and that was the first time I ever like trained to failure, like with a back off. And I was like, this is different. So just like you always think you're training hard. Like that was my concept of hard. Like
Yeah.
that was a good workout. That was a hard workout. And then it opens your eyes to like, dang, that's
Keep going.
it can be a lot more than it is.
Training.
Yeah, but I mean, even now, like the intensity is higher, but it's not even close to where it could be. Because if I could keep up, I'd be working out with Brett.
I want to
but
see you work out with Brett.
I
like-
do. I would totally be down to hit like a back day or a chest day with
No.
Brett.
Nah, legs.
No,
See, I think this is your issue though. Is like
I literally.
you are
I don't
more
even
than
know, yeah.
capable. Like it's as simple as, like this is the question you have to ask yourself: am I willing to show up and put out when it hurts?
yeah,
And I got to be honest with yourself. If the answer to that is yes, then show up and do it. But like the biggest thing that will block you is you show up and you get on the hack squat and you're like, oh, like this is gonna hurt, or like you do your top set and he's like, we have a back off, and instead of your mind going to I need to get ready for this back off, I need to
Yeah,
get my
yeah.
head right for this, you go to oh fuck, I have to do a back off now. Like this, it's like you're in the gym training. What the fuck are you here for?
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
No,
just
I
do it.
I
approach
totally
it that
agree.
way.
I think once I get my body, like my shoulders are jacked up, my quads are jacked up, my knees are jacked up. I think once I get my body figured out and fixed, I would definitely be open to it.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly scared. I am honestly
do you
scared.
think? Do you think the first time I went, because the first time I trained with him was with him and Martin.
Yeah,
and
that's
all I had
insane.
done is film them training together. And if you've never seen any of their old videos, I'll send you some links. It's literally insane. Like I was talking to Brett about it once, and he goes, "Yeah, I think we just, like there's definitely some merit to it, but like I honestly think we had no idea we had no idea how ignorant we were being, or how crazy we were. No, it worked obviously, but like I mean, when you're putting pin extenders on the Cybex hack squat, like you're strong, you're really
Yeah.
strong.
Well, I mean,
Vaughn, when you
even
get in
like
there?
even when Vaughn left,
Yeah,
like
what did you think about the first workout with Brett? That's a good.
yeah,
I mean, it was just like, I'm not saying that I like knew how to train prior, but I've
Yeah,
trained.
you've
with,
done that.
Trained with like Chris before that, and like a few other fairly large individuals,
Yeah.
and it's
You
just like,
worked out with Nick Walker.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I feel like Brett is just like a different breed, though. Like
Yeah.
he like
Just goes.
that, honestly, training with Brett is probably like the hardest sessions that I'll ever have. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's different, bro. Like,
Yeah, like you left yesterday and he did like 3 more workouts.
Well, I only hack squatted with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like this man was going from like that big old hack squat to doing Smith squats to doing like the leg extensions
and
to do
that's
and
one of
it's
the
like,
craziest
holy
things about his
crap.
workouts, and what I really started to see was in a bodybuilding context. So this goes for any of the younger people that are watching too, that are in the shoes that like kind of we're in is, and coming up is, I never, for the longest time, I focused so much on like, oh, my diet needs to be this. Like everybody's so hyper focused on what their diet should be because they think they're training right. And it's like, if you go in the gym and you train 3 times harder than you actually think, than what you think is hard, watch the changes. It was like this past summer. I mean, y'all met me when I got down here in May. I was way smaller in May than I am now. And nothing really changed in my opinion, other than the fact that like I trained with him.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, okay, this is how you grow. Like I was training like an idiot. You know what I mean? Beforehand, I just didn't know what hard was. I wasn't training stupid. I was probably training like on par with my age and like experience. But with that, like certain body parts too that were lagging. Like, of course, I'm not big now, but my point is I was bigger than I was, and I've improved body parts that like I didn't think were going to improve the way the way that they could. So I think like learning from somebody was.
Yeah.
Well, at least the biggest takeaway that I learned from Brett was that I usually, like, prior to training with him, I would train until like mental failure instead of muscle failure.
Muscle failure.
And there's a huge fucking difference.
Massive.
Like you can rep out like another 10, 15
Yep.
reps if you try, you know?
Yeah.
Like
And you realize this is something that has to be exercised
Exactly,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, even
push yourself with it.
Keep that inner bitch in his little corner.
yeah, that's insane.
What about you, Grant? You trained with Brett.
I have.
Do you think it helps that he's just a good dude and like you don't want to like let him down?
Brett,
Bro,
Like
that's
I
the
never
number
want to
one.
disappoint him. I'm
Here's
like,
the thing. When you train with him, it's just like if he tells me 3 more, and if I'm like in my own head, I'm like, wow, it's like if I do 3, there's a percentage like this bar might just fall on my neck. All right, cool, yeah, we're doing 3. Like you just don't want to say no.
yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly, literally. Because I remember you mentioned it one time, and like I was just like, yeah, no, that's definitely how the feeling is. It's like you don't want him to think you're a bitch.
No.
So
I
I'm
see it
just-
as like he's taking his time. Like he's a fucking
Pro.
professional bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's taking the time to work out with me, and like I'm just gonna do what he says because I respect him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go in there, waste his time, and fucking
Yeah.
jerk off
Yep.
the whole workout when he's
Yeah.
like putting in his all, like,
Everything.
actually trying to train. You know.
And it's
So,
like you
it's
talked
a
about with
huge respect
opportunity.
factor.
The opportunity to like, I know it's kind of like us all working here, the shoes that we're all in. Like everybody, I know there are 1,000 kids out there that would trade to have the spots that we have here at the company. It's the same way with him. I'm like, man, you know how many people like I've met like that walk up to him and like want to talk to him and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm some like kid that gets to train with him a bunch, like you're saying, like,
Yeah.
don't disrespect that opportunity.
Yeah, it's insane too because we're like, oh, we hit a workout with Brett, but like that's
It's his
his
livelihood.
daily.
Yeah, that's
he
his
does that
livelihood, yeah.
every
Yeah.
day. He goes that hard, that intense, like
Or-
every lift.
In terms of like how you're saying, like you feel lucky in that position, like you get to train with Brett. Like think about it like this, like we're all in a position, like obviously he trains with Vaughn most of the times, but I guarantee if we literally ask Chris, be like, yo, what are you doing? You want to like catch a lift? And
Yeah.
like as long as like he knows like we're there to work and like we're there to actually train and like push each other. I mean, he's always around and he's
Yeah.
always down, and it's like the number one thing, especially when, because I know he's mentioned this when he trains with Vaughn. It's like, and same with Brett with you. It's like it doesn't matter that the strength or like the weights are different. It really just matters about the effort you put in and the work you put in, because that's what's the most important. It's like if he sees Vaughn or if Brett sees you like go first on the top set and he sees you absolutely crush it.
100%.
It puts them in a headspace where it's just like he fucking killed his set. Now I got to do my part and kill mine.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
Mutually
that-
beneficial.
Exactly. It's that camaraderie, and like at the end of the day, like that's what you want in a training partner.
Yeah.
Like, would it be amazing if you could find that, and then on top of that, they've matched your same weights? Yeah, but at the end of the day, like one definitely does trump the other.
Yeah, you just, And that's so true too. And it's also another reason why I want to put out on my set is because I know that it's helping him, and I know if he puts on his set, it's helping me, right? Because you're not gonna watch somebody do like, you go to the depths of hell on the hack squat, and then you're like gonna half-ass your set and then
Tiptoe through
stand
the
up
garden.
and
You can't lollygag.
yeah,
after
like
that.
if you're not laying on the floor after your set, you probably didn't do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if he was, so that's cool to have the opportunity to do that.
Brett's ascension sets, man. Like I've never experienced it yet with him, but
Just watching.
Jesus Christ, man, those things look just god awful.
I will say there is one part of working out with him that brings confidence to you, and that it's like, I have a bear ready to lift whatever dumb shit I get under and I can't get out of.
Yeah.
He just
No, the most satisfying thing is like, you finish a set with him, and they're like, "Yo, good set." And you're just like,
Yeah.
"I did it."
Damn right. No. Yeah, that is. I will say, okay, here's something that's interesting. It's so interesting to me, like how Brett is so loud,
Yeah.
and Chris is like stoic and quiet while he's training. And I know
It's
Chris,
absurd how
and I know
quiet he
Chris
is.
trains really hard, so it's like how the hell are you so quiet when you're
Literally,
training like that?
he was doing the hack squat with Gloff, like to failure, and I'm like, how are you so quiet? Going to absolute failure on this hack squat, and it says, like that's the only noise you make. It's ridiculous.
Whereas you can hear almost anyone else from like the far corner of the
Dude, it was
gym.
hilarious. In one of Vaughn's videos, the comments was like, I love how in the background you could just hear Brett going to work. And we're on the fucking Smith machine in this corner, and he's all the way in the leg room.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so true.
insane.
Oh, but we're about to hit the hour mark.
Wow.
Wow.
Long story short, train hard.
Yeah.
Eat more food.
But-
Vaughn, 3 tips to getting shredded for this summer.
Eat right,
Close her out.
Train hard, and get your steps in.
P90X.
Be active.
P90X. All right, kids, if you want to get shredded for summer, get P90X.
Code Vaughn.
Code Vaughn.
But, all right, boys, that was fun.
It was.
Yeah,
That'll
break
wrap
down
her
another
up.
hour.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, what time
Let's
is
hope
it?
that
That's
this one
crazy.
saves.
Yeah, let's pray to God this one saves. Zach, it's your
You
camera.
Smash
You
that
take
like
it and
button
go.
so it saves.
touching
Take
it.
it and go.
Smash that sub button so it saves.
All right. Thank you for watching. This was podcast episode
Love you all.
34. We will catch you next Friday.